Man, I just think that speedrunning is awesome. There's something I just find really fascinating about the fact that people will spend days, weeks, months, years in a lot of cases, just trying to shave off minutes and seconds, milliseconds in a lot of cases for games that they've been playing for so many years. I first got into speedrunning back when I first got Mario Kart Wii as a kid. I know it was kind of, I guess, a late time to get into it, but at the time I thought I was so good at Mario Kart. I really thought at the time I was one of the fastest racers in the entire world. Why did I think I was the best? Well, I was beating all my friends in every race, and I was using the legendary Wii wheel, which was the totally best thing to use. And then I looked at the leaderboards, and then I realized I was garbage. Not only was I garbage, but so was my Wii wheel. It was on that day that I learned that the GameCube controller was completely superior for that game. It didn't stop me though from continuing to explore the speedrunning scene. Games that took me days, even weeks to complete as a kid, were completed in mere hours by the fastest people. Super Paper Mario, 4 hours. Half-Life 2, under an hour. Deus Ex Human Revolution, under 40 minutes. Tutorial Island, 2 minutes and 54... Wait, what? 2 minutes and 54 seconds to complete Tutorial Island. The same Tutorial Island that took me like 2 weeks to finish as a kid. How? No matter the game, there's probably a speedrun for it, including old school Runescape. Check out all the stuff here: an Iron Man and Ultimate Iron Man free-to-play guild speedrun, a free-to-play Black Knight's Fortress speedrun, a Mithril Glove speedrun. There's even a speedrun to obtain the fastest camo top. You guys think you can beat AEIOU's record of 5 minutes and 19 seconds? The one that I found the most interesting though was the Tutorial Island speedrun. There's a guy called Research that managed to complete Tutorial Island in 2 minutes and 54 seconds, beating out the second place guy by 23 seconds. I wanted to find out how he managed to complete it so quickly, the tricks he used, the metas he may have formed, and more importantly, maybe even try to beat his record myself. Before we get into my attempts though, I'd like to shout out the small but dedicated Old School RuneScape speedrunning community. On the Old School RuneScape section on speedrun.com, you'll find all these records and attempts by many users, complete with information about their runs, as well as a video showing off the attempt. You'll also find guides for different speedruns, resources to try your own speedruns, as well as a forum and a Discord for any questions you might have. I spoke with Muffin, one of the moderators of the Discord, and he told me that the routes they use for the speedruns can be found on the Old School Wiki, who they've worked with quite a bit. They're always looking for more people who are motivated to explore and speedrun, so if you guys are interested in trying some of these out for yourself, you can head to the video description below where you'll find links to all the resources I mentioned. So how did Research do it? How did he manage to beat Tutorial Island in under 3 minutes? Well, there's a couple of steps to running Tutorial Island as quickly as possible. Some of them are optional, and some are necessary. Firstly, as you all probably know, the game runs on a system of ticks, and if you understand the tick cycle, you'll be able to finish or start some actions quicker than usual. Secondly, with a lot of practice, you'll have to get used to knowing when your conversations with the NPCs end, as well as knowing when you have to click on the different inventory icons during the run. Finally, you'll have to know the efficient path to take during the run. Now, there's a couple of things that aren't necessary but will speed up your time. So the Tutorial Island speedrun has two categories, a multi-logging and non-multi-logging one. To speed up your time, you can actually multi-log on multiple accounts for a couple of different parts. Research found a couple of tricks that actually help you cut down on a lot of time. At the start, you can cook your shrimp on somebody else's fire, and you completely skip the part where you have to talk to the survival expert again, chop down a tree, and make a fire. And this saves around 12 seconds. Later on in the run, when you have to fight the rats, you deal 2 damage to the rat on an alt account and then you log out. And when you deal the final hit with your speedrun account, the kill is then awarded to you because it can't find the other player. And the reason that you didn't use the trick for the first rat kill is because of an anti-spamming mechanic on the door. So you're forced to spend at least 7 ticks in the cage. So what you do is you do your regular hits with melee, you leave, you get your bow and your arrows, and then you do the final kill on the rat that has 1 HP left, and you'll save a lot of time this way. Those are the 2 big time saves that you can do that involve alt accounts, but again, throughout Research's run, you'll notice him do a lot of smaller things that will eventually add up to a large time save towards the end of the run. He'll prepare his camera angles, he'll pre-right click on certain things to save time. For For example, when you get to the bank, you can right click on the poll booth and then the door that leads to the account management guy, and it skips a lot of unnecessary dialogue that will help save you time. At the end of your run, the wizard will usually ask you if you'd like to be an Iron Man, which can add a couple of seconds to your time, and to avoid this conversation, at the very start of the run, you select that you're a new player instead of an experienced one, and you'll completely negate this conversation, which saves you a couple seconds. These are the things that are so important to a fast run because they can make or break that time, and this makes Research's run super impressive. There are still a lot of other people on the leaderboards that have a really impressive time ranging between 3 minutes and 17 seconds all the way up to 4 minutes. A lot of these guys have really good runs even though they weren't close to Research's. I did a lot of research on Research's run and I kind of realized that this guy has it down, and the question is, can I even compete with him? There's a program called LiveSplit that most speedrunners use to help time their speedruns, and what it does is it pretty much will keep track of your splits during a speedrun. Most games have some type of checkpoint or some type of cutscene that most runners will use as a split in order to help gauge their time to see if they're doing better than a previous run or if they're doing worse than a previous run. Research has 6 different splits in his video. He has the fence when you finish cooking the shrimp, the door when you finish baking the bread, the ladder when you finish talking to the quest guy, the gate when you finish all your mining, the ladder 2 when you finish the combat, and then the final one is the Lumbridge one with the wizard when you completely finish the run. I made my own live split based off of Research's live split for Tutorial Island, and I'm going to upload it to the speedrun.com website, so if you guys want to try this for yourself, that will be a resource on the website. Now, one thing that I realized is that this isn't going to take me 2-3 tries to beat. I'm not going to get this done in an hour. This is going to take a long time. That means I'm probably going to need a lot of different accounts. Luckily, Jagex actually has a very, very easy way to make new accounts, and that's literally just to put in whatever email you want into the email section. Jagex does not require you to verify any emails, so you can technically make as many free-to-play accounts as you want and never have to worry about verifying anything. This makes things a lot less stressful because if you do mess up during your run, you can simply log out, make a new account within 30 seconds, and boom, you can try again. Trust me, I made a lot of accounts. There is actually another trick though to use one email for all your accounts, and that is the +1 email trick. So what you can do is for your current email, let's say I'm using soupishot@gmail.com, my email address on Runescape will be soupishot+1@gmail.com, and let's say I fail a speedrun on that account and I need a new one, I'll then make my new one soupishot+2@gmail.com, and then you can increment it by 1 each run, and every time I make a new account, the account information will always go back to soupishot@gmail.com, so you never have to worry about having hundreds of emails, you can just use one. Luckily for the Tutorial Island speedrun, you do not have to authenticate any of these accounts because you can do this on free-to-play and never have to worry about actually playing on the main game, so you can pretty much spam make as many accounts as you want, you can try as many times as you want, which is really nice for the speedrun. Alright, so I have watched Research's video dozens of times, I've checked out the OSRS Wiki's guide on speedrunning Tutorial Island. I think I'm ready for my first run. There's only a couple of rules that you have to follow, so you can't obviously use Skippy, your mouse cursor has to be visible, you have to use the official Jagex client, so you can't use third-party clients, and your runs require video proof, so you have to record yourself doing the run. The timer starts when the character creation screen disappears on Tutorial Island, and the timer ends when your character arrives in Lumbridge. So this right here is my first Tutorial Island speedrun attempt. I knew for this first run that I did not want to restart under any circumstances because I kind of just wanted to get a base time to see how fast I could do it. Even if I knew I messed up or even if I knew I was going to have a slow time, I kind of just wanted to see where I was at the very start. Throughout this run, I kept comparing what I was doing to what Research was doing in his run, and I pretty much just told myself, well, you're going so slowly. I was misclicking things, I was ending conversations too early with NPCs, which meant I had to restart the conversation entirely, losing so much time. My hits weren't hitting on the rats. It was just a slow time in general. But slow for you is still ranked 26 in the world. That's right, my first time of 4 minutes and 28 seconds places me snugly in the 26th best Tutorial Island speedrun of all time, baby. I'm on the map. Just to put Research's run into perspective, by the time I finished killing the rats on my first speedrun, he had completely finished the entire thing. After watching over the run, I noticed so many times when I messed up. I mean, I took the wrong path from the first gate down to the Master Chef, I incorrectly spoke to Vanica and messed up things there, I clicked the wrong things in the bank and the poll booth area, I pretty much did every single section wrong. And that gave me a lot of confidence for the second run, so bring it on. Account number 2. fuck. On my second speedrun, I discovered that the most annoying thing about speedrunning Tutorial Island is burning a shrimp, because if you burn a shrimp, you completely have to restart the run. There is no point in fishing another shrimp and then cooking it because you lose so much time. It's completely worth it just to log out and restart. And since your character does happen to be low cooking, the chances of you burning the shrimp are actually quite high, and I can tell you guys that throughout my attempts, I went through a lot of accounts, and it's mainly just because I burnt so many shrimp. Thankfully, cooking the shrimp happens about 20 seconds into the run, so luckily it's not like 2 minutes into the run where you'd have to restart 2 minutes worth of work. It's only about 20 seconds, so it could be worse. I managed to finish 5 of my first 8 runs. My third attempt was actually slower than my first at 4 minutes and 29 seconds. My fourth was a new personal best of 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Attempt number 5 was a 4 minute 14 second run, and then attempt number 7 was a 4 minute and 16 second run, so it was actually going the opposite way. I was going up in time. Even though my times were still over 4 minutes, I noticed a lot of things starting to click. I started getting the timing down for a lot of the NPC conversations, knowing exactly where to run, pre-placing my mouse cursor in certain places, and most importantly, getting the muscle memory down. Small things started to make sense, like when you have to talk to the survival expert to get a fishing net. If you quickly talk to her, immediately move to the fishing spot, and click on the inventory icon, it can all be done in a few ticks, and I managed to get it down pretty quickly with a bit of practice. The same can be said for making the bread at the Master Chef, also equipping the dagger and equipping the longsword and wooden shield at Vanica, and then talking to the wizard at the end when you have to use the airstrike on a chicken, and then quickly talking to the wizard again. It actually begins to make a lot of sense once you practice. And on my 9th attempt, it massively paid off. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Good enough for the 7th fastest speedrun on the Tutorial Island leaderboards. And this was only after about 2 hours of watching videos, reading guides, and practicing on the previous attempts. This only gave me more confidence to keep trying. I mean, researchers' records seemed a bit too far away for me, but I thought that top 3 was actually pretty realistic. Surely I can improve 11 seconds, right? Well, some things got in the way. The first thing I noticed that was happening was that I was getting very impatient. In order to try and beat my previous times, I would try to do certain things more quickly during my next run. This included me canceling out of NPC conversations too quickly, which meant that I would have to restart the conversation in order to move on, but that loses too much time, so I'd have to restart the entire run. The other frustrating thing is your RNG when you're fighting the rats. I didn't use alt accounts to fight the rats to get them down to 1 HP, so I had to rely on my own RNG for my 3 melee hits and 3 range hits. But it's a low chance. On accurate, the chance of hitting 3 times in a row is approximately 17.5%. That means that around 75% of my runs that had made it to the rat section ended up being too slow. I actually had an attempt where I hit a combined 22 zeros on the rats before I was able to move on. 22 zeros. But this is RuneScape. You guys know how RNG works. You can't expect it every time, and I really had no reason to complain, especially when I got to attempt 53, the run that got me 3rd place all time for Tutorial Island, the run that got me the bronze medal. 3 minutes and 27 seconds to complete Tutorial Island. I was so excited about my time that I immediately uploaded the YouTube video to speedrun.com for the Tutorial Island section, and it was approved within a couple hours by one of the moderators, the Darkest Uno, because before you can have an official speedrun on the leaderboards, it has to be approved by one of the moderators on the section. And Darkest Uno actually told me that since I started my split 0.43 seconds early, and I got to the mainland at 3 minutes 27 seconds and 27 milliseconds, I actually have a 3:26 instead of a 3:27, so my time actually went down a little bit. Look at us, man. All that hard work, all that dedication, 3rd place. Paid off. I'm still not a winner, but, you know, research, I'll keep trying. I have to say this run was an interesting one, because if you guys saw, my rat RNG was so good. I hit back-to-back-to-back hits on the rat with the melee, and then when it came to range, I think I hit 3 of 4, so insanely good RNG. But what I did mess up on at the very end, which you guys may have seen, is that when I used the airstrike on the chicken, I was too far away, and it dragged me out of the little castle there, which meant that I lost probably like 2-3 seconds trying to sort myself out, so this could have been even faster. But the fact that I still managed to do it in 3:27 is just awesome. I think if I would have been a bit more tick perfect on the conversations throughout the run with the NPCs, as well as somebody helping me out on the rats, as well as my last section there with the wizard being more clean, I maybe could have done this in under 3 minutes and 20 seconds and come really close to 2nd place. But hey, I can't complain. I had so much fun doing this, and it took me less than a day to research these runs, try them out for myself, and I managed to snag 3rd place all time on the old school RuneScape Tutorial Island speedrun leaderboards. That's pretty sick. There are really no requirements to do this. I mean, all you have to do is make a bunch of new accounts, which you can do for free. You don't have to pay for membership on any of them, and try this out as many times as you'd like. In fact, I challenge you guys to do this. I dare you guys to try to beat my 3rd place record. Knock me off the podium. See what happens, okay? Join the Discord, join the speedrun.com section, and try it out for yourself. There's a super passionate and dedicated old school speedrunning community that I think deserves more love, and I think if you guys try it out for yourself, you might find something that you really enjoy doing, and who knows what this could lead to. Maybe we'll see new speedruns for the Alcarid Gate, or, you know, new speedruns to get Barrow's Gloves. Who knows? There's a lot that can be done with this. Thank you again to the old school speedrunners and speedrunning Discord for helping me out with this run. I had so much fun with it, and I'm definitely going to try to continue to break my record in the future. If you guys did enjoy today's video, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It helps me out so much, and also leave a comment about what you think about speedrunning on old school, and maybe what category you guys would like to see be a speedrun section on speedrun.com for old school. And again, try to knock me off of 3rd place. I dare you.